Most warning signs all have something in common. We ignore them. If you're sitting there saying, no, not me, I never ignore them. Did you happen to drive a Volkswagen that was produced in the 80s or 90s? Because every time you start one of those cars up, you get a warning sign. Check the engine. I've had several of them. They all had check engine lights on all the time. The only way to fix it was put a piece of black tape over top of it. Or futz with the computer, but that, I don't want to talk about that. Slightly maybe not right. So we kind of deny. And in my former profession, teaching, there were warning signs there also. An email home, worse yet, the phone call home. Always like those, especially when a student's doing well. Hello, Mrs. Jones. Yes, this is Mr. Lentz from the high school. And then this pause. I just want to let you know your child's doing great. And of course we have, or had, fire drills. Sometime during my teaching career, we got a different kind of warning sign, a code red. And that was for when there was someone in the building that shouldn't be there. And I don't remember exactly when it started. It wasn't exactly after Columbine, but they were pretty stressful until we got used to them and we started ignoring them. We put the black tape over it, and you just kind of walk through it. No big deal. And every once in a while, they would have different training for us and different strategy. I'm trying to remember the last one because I'm trying to forget these things. Hide, run, fight. So every once in a while, we'd have a code red drill, and we would shuffle through it and not take it too serious. Then one morning before school actually started, we got a code red. And there were already a few students in my room. And I'm looking around like, shit, this is not a drill. We didn't even start school yet. So the protocol is grab students out of the hallway and pull them in your room. Well, my classroom at the time was horrible for code red because I had a whole wall of windows out to what was one of the front doors. And I had two entrance doors with big windows on the side of them. There was no place to really hide except this one spot. So I grabbed whatever students were outside my room in the hallway. And one of my repeat students, not because he failed, was there, Christian. Big kid, not always the best student, but a super nice kid. Kind of kid I like. I had him for biology, and then he took my environmental science class, passed it. As a senior, he took my environmental science class instead of sitting in a study hall, which I took as a compliment. It's like, you really want to be here a second time? He's like, yeah, I like being here. I'm like, okay. So Christian was in my room that morning, and I knew I could trust him. I could ask him to do things, they would get done. So you could tell from the secretary's voice this was not a drill because her voice was shaken. So I locked my doors, both of them. We're huddled in. I opened up my one drawer. I had a toolbox in there. I handed Christian a hammer. I had a screwdriver. I handed some other kid, I didn't even know who he was, salt, because I figured it would be irritating in someone's eyes. Another kid got rubbing alcohol. Another kid got hydrogen peroxide. We were ready. We're just waiting. And we took the black tape off. I was shaking. Christian was all hyped up. We were ready to go. Turns out that a huge fight broke out in the lobby. And the only way they could clear the hallways was to have a code red. So that's what they did. Luckily, there was no one in the building that shouldn't have been there. But what I'm wondering is, do we still have that piece of black tape over that warning sign?